What is up, guys? It's Selka, and today I'll be breaking down Bitcoin and Ethereum in the smaller time frame. So again, before we get started, I just want to let you know that I'm reading every comments you guys put on my videos. So one of them was to put that Bitcoin time frame behind the chart, and I did it. I think it looks pretty sick, and I should have done it before, but I just found out about it right now, so I just made it, and I think you guys will be we'll be following the analysis better with that. So same thing for that four corrective patterns in the top right corner. I think it's a pretty good idea. I still think that it doesn't look that good in the video just like this, but I'll try to make it as clean as possible in the future. So the second thing I wanted to say is that I'm working on making this channel better and better. So that's why in the next 2 weeks I want to be making as much video as I used to. So I used to do one video every 2-3 days, but this time it will probably be one video every almost every week. But it will only be for 2 weeks until I manage to change the channel and do everything I want to do for that channel. So one of the thing is editing videos. I also want a new logo, new banner, better thumbnails. Also, I'm planning on doing a community Discord channel regarding the wave theory, but also every type of every type of knowledge I can give you through Discord. It will be a pleasure for me to do it. Also, Twitch live stream would be amazing. So that's one thing I'm trying to work on, and also a new type of video analysis. So do more of those tutorial lessons and a different video from those weekly analysis. So I'll try to manage that and do that better. But until then, I really hope you guys will understand that, and also will like the video until I get better at it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today, guys. But let's get started on the Bitcoin analysis. And as I'm watching right now, we just got the impulse. So alright, so the analysis will be better, as right now you probably see this impulse go up and break at least this top. I think this one as well, but yeah, I'll just break it down right now. So yeah, it's pretty sick, man. It's pumping right now as I make the video, but yeah, no problem. I'll be telling you guys what I expect from this structure. So again, in my last video I told you that this was the impulse, this was the correction, the 3-wave correction. We broke this low, so this should be a running flat. Okay, you can follow those patterns in the top right corner, but this should come up, then come back down. This was the first scenario. All right, now we have it in mind, and now it's getting super interesting, guys. This pattern is interesting, and I'll just go over it right now. So this is the first scenario. All right, this should be, and now I'm gonna put those 3-wave corrections right away. So it's called ABC in the wave theory. I never do these type of graph. I mean, I never use this tool, but yeah, this should be something like this. All right, since this was a down impulse, this should be a 3-wave correction and come back down. All right, so if you're trying to understand what's the B wave, it's this wave, and this wave is always corrective. That's why you have an impulse, a correction, and another impulse within this B wave. All right, that's only a detail, but we are looking for actually right now is get that down impulse to break those low again. So this should be the goal. And right now, things are getting really interesting, as this could be literally the end of that C wave. So if this goes up more than that, so I expect it to go a little bit more than that, do something like this, then this should come like this and drop. All right, and complete that running flat. So same thing, nothing has really changed from the last video, even though it's like 3 days, maybe 4 days away. So nothing has really changed. We are still looking for this pattern, and that's still the pattern that will most likely happen. So even if with that drop, I was seeing this drop, and I was like, okay, maybe we are going for the second scenario. But then after looking at it, I still see this as a regular flat. All right, so let me remove everything. Just keep in mind, this is what I'm looking for actually right now. So even if this is not the C wave I'm looking for, I'll explain you how to break it down and how to see this pattern. So alright, keep in mind this one, because I'll remove it right now, but this could be a running flat right there. Alright, the next thing is, what if the B wave is not done? So what if the B wave is not done yet and the C wave is not what you're seeing right now? So as I'm telling you from my last videos, every time you see a move that looks corrective, you gotta keep in mind that this could be a B, and everything you had before it could be an impulse. So if I see this move right now, I kind of think that what we're making right there is a bigger flat than this one. All right, so this one was a bigger correction until we see this move. All right, so this move could be either a 3-wave correction for a down impulse. So same thing we thought for this one. So 3-wave correction for this down impulse. And if that's the case, we won't see it go near that top. We will only see it tag this top, which is what is doing right now, and then come back down to break the low. So either way, if we see that, I'll see what the impulse is about. If the impulse goes really close to that top, I'll take it as a running flat, so as the pattern I was looking for right there. But it can also just extend and be a bigger correction. I would not be surprised too, because bigger correction happened on price range that are interesting. What most likely are price range that people will be trading. So 16k, 15k, these are a price target that people will try to buy in and sell in, and it will create big correction. So that's why I would not be surprised if this correction is bigger than what we predicted it will be. So right now, and I'll break it down because that is a super interesting one, and few people know about this. But when you see you have an impulse down, so I'll break it down every move I've seen and how I think after every move. All right, so the first one was this move, this impulse. So this impulse was clear. That was the impulse that we knew of and we had no doubt about it. So I'll put it in the 4 pixel so it can be big. But this one is confirmed. There's no doubt about it. So that's an impulse because it's going high. It didn't take a lot of time, but yeah, went pretty high. I think 20% maybe. So yeah, it went pretty high and quick. So there's no doubt this is an impulse. Now we could have seen this as a 3-wave correction. So I'll just put it a little bit smaller. We could have seen this as a 3-wave correction to come and break the top, but we didn't, because we were looking for an impulse, and we saw this price going too much like this, too much sideways, too much like a correction and not an impulse. So you see how impulse goes, then it was not the same thing. You see how it goes, not like it should have. So because of that one, we went for this being an impulse down, this being a correction for another impulse down. So we expected this impulse down. Then right there we saw this 3-wave correction, and we said, okay, this one is an impulse to come and break the top and complete this pattern. So this was the goal. But again, instead of going impulse like this, it started pretty good but ranged, right? And at some point I told you guys that if it starts ranging like this, then this is not the correction, this is not the B wave, so this is not the middle correction for a 3-wave correction. No, this should be simply a part of that whole impulse, and that's what I'm seeing after that move. I saw this and said, if that's correcting, then we will get another impulse down, and then all this will be your 3-wave correction. So just like this one but bigger, and that's how fractal works. That's how sometimes you see 15 minutes correction, but it turns out to be 1 hour correction. And same thing for impulse. You can see a 5-minute impulse that turns out to be a 15-minute impulse, and even bigger. So you never know when it turns out to be a bigger correction until you see a correction instead of an impulse that you were looking for. So instead of an impulse to come and break the top, we've seen this range. Then we thought about this is a correction for that down impulse, and that's why we've got an impulse down. So everything of that was clear. We were able to forecast those moves even though we didn't reach the target we were looking for. We had in mind these scenarios, and that's why we were not buyers in this zone. We didn't take losses in this zone. We just knew about this scenario, and we took care of it. And that's how I think you should be trading or seeing the market. It's predicting every move like this that you can lose money of. So it's not just about making money, but it's also about not losing money. So after that move, I said, and that was in my last video, that this should be an impulse to come. This will not break the top because you did break the low. So if you break the low, you should not break the top, because as you can see right there, it's a running flat in the downtrend. So this should come up and then go back down. So that's my analysis, and it remains like this as of right now. But what I'm seeing right there is that this could be, again, just like we've got to see right there, this could be two things. Either our impulse started with an impulse and a correction, and another impulse which is taking much more time than expected. And remember, this can happen. This can happen because you've got right there impulse up, true wave correction, and this should have been an impulse just like this one, but we've seen it go with a true wave correction instead, go up and slowly go up until it goes down. So this remains a running flat for the downside, because you can compare it to the downtrend running flat that you have right there. You have a down move, up move, true wave correction, up move, and it went down. So I still take it as an impulse that went down for the running flat, even though it has some correction in it. So it can be the same thing. This can be the impulse I'm looking for, even though there's a correction in it. But what I'm adding as a scenario, and it remains the same, the analysis doesn't change of that, but it remains the same. But you got to keep in mind that if this is the last wave of the running flat, so if this one is, this move is this one, and it goes down again after that, which I still expect, I still see the price going down somewhere in there in this zone. All right, I see this going down, and that's why I'm putting it in red. But yeah, either way, if this goes up and turns out to be this wave that we're looking for, the running flat, whenever we will go down to break this low, it should not go up and go down again. It should not be a bigger corrective structure. It should be a corrective structure that is done, and when a corrective structure is done, you need to go for a new one. So it's a new structure. So if we break the low and comes right there in this zone, we should look for an impulse and a flag, and we won't be scared to go up and have a reversal. We won't be scared of that because our correction is completed. Now that's the thing. If this goes up like this and comes back down, which I think is the case, I'm not sure at the moment if I will see this move as the impulse for the running flat. And let me explain. If I have this impulse right there, which is clearly an impulse, so let me put it in blue. This one is clearly an impulse. This was for me clearly a true wave correction. I was expecting an up move and come down, and I'm still in it. But this move right there makes me think that what if that's a true wave correction for that whole impulse down? So let me remove that. What if that's the whole impulse down with a correction in it, which is okay, it can happen sometime, doesn't matter. But what if this correction is for that down impulse? Then we will get another down move, then an up move to complete that first impulse, then another down move. Then what if we start ranging like this until we get the reversal? What if we break the lows 3 times instead of 2? And that's what I'm scared of, and that's why you should keep in mind right now. So you should have this pattern in mind, just because the way this move is going. So if it was going like this, with not this correction, not having this correction, then it will be clear this is running flat and this is complete. But the fact that it is going like this in a 3 wave, so first impulse wave, this is a corrective wave, another impulse, then you gotta keep in mind that this can probably not be the corrective wave for that down impulse. But what if, I mean, yes, it's a corrective wave for that down impulse, but what if all this impulse down in three part, all this impulse down is being corrected with this true wave correction? So it can literally, and I'm telling you right now, this can literally go a little bit up, come back down, something like this, and then go up for that impulse. So it will be, alright, impulse down like this three wave correction, impulse down again in some sort of a three wave, just like this one. Doesn't need to be pretty clean, just like this one, and go up for that one and go down again. So it can literally do that. And the thing I don't like with that structure, and it's simply it can go on and be bigger for quite some time, and I don't really like trading in those pattern. I rather wait for the new low and try to snipe buy setup from the bottom. But as of right now, I won't be selling this. I took a small profit, almost break even on that trade because of that spike down, but I'm okay. I'm waiting slowly and be relaxed in this zone because there's nothing to do. If you're trying to sell, be careful. I mean, you can clearly sell this. I'll just be waiting for a flag because yeah, this impulse has some volume. I would not be I think I would not be surprised if it goes down, but I would not imagine going down like dumping this candle. So anyway, you got to keep in mind that this can be a three wave correction, and if that's a three wave correction, that's for that impulse or this one. But I'll take the bigger one because that correction is bigger than this one. See? So to make it clear, and I don't know if you guys understand it, but I'm trying to be as clear as possible. But you had this impulse down, this small correction, this other impulse. Then you had a bigger correction. If you have a bigger correction, that means that you're correcting a bigger impulse. So you cannot be correcting just that impulse. You must be correcting all this because, again, your correction is bigger. And because of that, you've got an impulse that should match all the previous impulses. So this can be clear to me. It makes sense. It's logic. But this three wave correction coming in can be at the correction, since it's bigger than this one, it can be the correction of that whole impulse, including that small correction. And that's why we can go down slowly and take some time, retest the lows, come back up, make that running flag, and go back down. So it's either this scenario, or you'll see it go up a bit more than expected, then come back down, but never breaking this top. All right, in both scenarios you're not breaking this top, so we'll watch for this top. But in both case, you guys see that in both case, either we come down like this, either we go up and not as much, I think, and come back down, not as much, and come back down, breaking those low. So it's again, it's the same thing in short term. The same two movements that are coming are the same for the two scenarios, and that's why you gotta keep in mind that this should go down. So don't FOMO on this move, and if you're trying to sell it, be careful, but never FOMO on this move, and we'll get to see what's coming in for the next video. So that's about it for Bitcoin. Until that structure is done, there's nothing much to say. We will try to aim for that big structure when it comes. But for now, yeah, we need to get rid of this true wave correction. And for now, yeah, I'll be waiting right there to see if there's a sell setup. So right now, we're going to take a look at Ethereum. And do I have it right there? I'll probably make it like this. So Ethereum. And yeah, Ethereum as expected. This one, nothing has really changed for this one. This one is simple. Like I said in my last videos, Ethereum is way cleaner than Bitcoin. I would trade more Ethereum than Bitcoin at the moment. So to me, this is your impulse. This is all your correction. I was expecting this impulse to come and break the top because you didn't break the low. So you didn't break the low, you should break the top. So regular flat right there, regular flat instead of running flat. And now, whenever we will see that breakout of the top, we will aim for a down move that will come and break those low again and complete this three wave correction for that down impulse. So same thing, we got to take it part by part. So small by small, you got this impulse, wait for the correction. Once you have the correction, wait for the other impulse. Once you complete the other impulse, wait for the bigger impulse, because all this is a correction for that bigger down move that you've got. So the next down move should be heavy and come and break those lows again. So I'll be waiting for the top, the breakout to the top, and then wait, because you got to keep in mind also that there's a scenario that this is the reversal. So if this goes up with a strong breakout and the flag, this could come and reverse and be a reversal. But I would not think about it as of right now, because Bitcoin is bearish, Nasdaq is bearish, S&P is bearish, and why Ethereum would be pumping at that moment, I'm not sure about it. So that's why I'm keeping the blue scenario as the one that will happen, but the yellow one can happen, but will only happen if you see that big impulse. All right, so so that big impulse and that big flag. So until then, like I said, not worth it seeing it as the start of the upside for the 4-hour chart. I think you will get baited by this drop if you do so. So wait for that yellow scenario. If it never happens, then you'll never be in the trade. And if it dumps and go back to break this low, try for buy setup again. So you wait for impulse, flag, and you get in. And this one will be better since you will be lower, closer to your stop loss. Because if you're taking a trade like this, the stop loss should be right there under this low, and the take profit will be right there. But you can take small profit until you get to break that top. But the structure should be this. All right, the structure should be just like this and come back up. And the reason why is simply fractal. The same analysis we're making right there with that 3-wave correction. Like I said, taking it part by part. You have an impulse, correction is done, complete that impulse is done, it will go back down because you had a down move impulse right there. Same thing for the daily. You have a down impulse like this, you had an up impulse, wait for the correction. When it's done, go for the impulse. Whenever the impulse you got it, wait for the breakout of that thing. This should go down unless you have a big impulse and a flag. So exactly the same analysis. We're trading the same 3-wave correction. It's the same regular flat. Both are the same. So we're exactly repeating what we should do. Just like a robot, you don't have emotion of that structures. You just simply take it as you see it. So impulse, correction. You wait for the other impulse. Then all this becomes your correction. You have an impulse before it. Then it comes back down. And as long as this bottom is not broken, this is your impulse. So this correction can take forever. You cannot know when this correction will be done. But when it's done, this will go up because you have an impulse before it. And this should be a 3-wave correction for that down impulse. So I'm repeating myself, but it's literally what we do every day. We repeat ourselves. We try to find correction patterns that we know of and we trade them. That's literally what we do. So again, in my next videos, I'll be repeating myself, but I really want you guys to understand how it works, and I think you guys will enjoy it. It will be better, more logic in your mind, more clear. And until then, I think you guys will find that journey pretty interesting. So yeah, I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, share it with some friends, leave some comments and likes, and also, like I said in the beginning, I read every comments and I do everything to make my channel better. So if you like it, leave a like and share it with some friends. It will be amazing for me. So see you in my next videos. Peace.